Good morning, everyone. My name is Ailsa, and today's video is going to be slightly different than normal. I recently read The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, in which the main character has OCD, and it is a significant part of the story. It's told from his point of view, and his OCD is getting worse. The story goes on for various reasons. Maybe he thinks that has something to do with it, but as with a lot of mental illnesses, it's hard to pin down a reason for it to get bad. So it might be stuff that's going on in the book, or it might not. But just reading it made me think that this is something that I want to talk about. I've always been able to relate to characters I've read about, or like non-fiction articles I've read about people with OCD. Disclaimer in that I've never properly gone to the doctor and being diagnosed with it, so this could be me talking rubbish, but I thought I wanted to make a video about how I feel. And then last night, Lucy from Lucy the Reader hosted the UKYA chat, and the subject last night was talking about mental illness and mental illness in YA and things like that, and it made me really think that I wanted to do this video and talk to you about it. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that Mikey feels in the book. He's the main character, and some of the things I feel, and yeah, just kind of talk about it with you guys. One of the things that he does more and more as the book goes on is something that probably a lot of you will have heard about if you've read anything about OCD, as one of the kind of typical things that people can do, and that's that he washes his hands a lot. So he'll feel dirty for some reason, go and wash his hands, and just get stuck doing it over and over again, to the point that he's making his skin like cracked and dry and bleeding because he just can't stop doing it. That's never been something for me, which I'm glad about. But I do other stuff which I'll come on to soon. Mikey talks about getting stuck in loops, which is something I can very much relate to. He gets, so like his hand washing, he has to do things in a certain order, like put the soap on, rub his hands together, wash the soap off, dry the hands, and then he feels like he hasn't done it well enough or hasn't done it in quite the right way, so he has to come back and do it again. He talks at some point in the book about one time he was walking his dog and made the dog walk back and forth over this little patch of ground multiple times because he didn't feel like he'd done it right. He counts things right from the start of the book. He's getting drinks out the fridge, like a pack of drinks where the cans are all tied together, and he's counting them 1, 2, 3, 4, and he just has to keep doing it, touching each one as he counts. Being in loops is something, it's as soon as I first read that kind of description, it was something I was aware of. I get stuck in my head thinking about certain things. I get stuck in like quite literal loops sometimes, which is when I was little, if I walked around a lamppost or something for some reason, because it was fun to walk around a lamppost, then I'd do it again and just be going around in circles for ages. The feeling that Mikey has about trying to do it right is absolutely something I relate to. I get stuck doing these silly little things, and it's because I'm not doing it right. I haven't done it quite the way I need to have done it. I go through phases of what the most common thing is, of what my little thing is that I'm doing. If I'm walking along the pavement and I tread on it so it's slightly uneven, I have to try and find another uneven slab to tread on with my other foot so that it feels like the feeling is right on both feet. And if I don't get it right, I have to find another slab, another and another. So I'll be walking along the road, stopping and starting, and probably people behind me will wonder what on earth I'm doing. That one's generally quite innocuous. Like I can break myself out of that quite easily, really, because I know how to make it feel even. But another thing that, coming back to Mikey in the book with his hand washing, he knows it's silly. He knows he's hurting himself. He's making his hands hurt. He's getting to the point where he's literally scrubbing the skin off his hands to the point that they can bleed, and he can't stop. I do things sometimes where I'm like hurting myself. Not bad, but like if I bump into something sometimes on one side, I can obviously feel it on that side, and I feel like I need to make it even on my body. So I want to like bump into something with, like, if I bump my leg, then I'd want to bump my other leg to make it even. If it's a big hurt, then I can make myself not do it. But something like if I pinched myself or something, if I bumped my arm, then I'd want to do the same with the other arm, because it just doesn't feel right otherwise. I said that I've not been properly diagnosed with this. I went one time to a doctor to try and talk about it with him and say, look, I'm doing this. I think I have obsessive compulsive disorder. What can we do about this? And he essentially said, you sound like a sensible girl who knows that this is silly. You can just stop yourself from doing it. Mikey in the book, he's 18, he's a grown-up guy, and he's practically in tears several times in the book because he knows that what he's doing is stupid. We are well aware that these are silly little things we're doing, and it doesn't have to be like that. But if it was as simple as saying, this is silly, I'm gonna stop, then we would do it. So I didn't really feel like going back to that doctor to talk to him again about it. I know that what I'm doing is ridiculous. I'm well aware of that. It does not help the situation anything to know that I am being silly. But then that's the thing, isn't it? We think that this is silly and that you can just snap out of it. If it was that easy, I would do it. So other things, I honestly don't do the bumping into things stuff to make it even very often. What I do quite often is I will be compulsively swallowing. So like I just really weird things I'll swallow and just have to keep doing it. I don't feel like I've done it right. I don't feel like I've done it properly. And if I could just, it's like Mikey with his hands. If he did it exactly right with washing his hands, if he walked the dog in exactly the right way past that spot, he can move on and be fine. If I haven't done it exactly right, I just will keep doing it again and again. Other things I'd be like, I can hyperextend my arms, which is when you stretch out. And I don't know if you can see that. You stretch and you can roll your elbow right out. So I'll end up doing that and then have to do it with the other one because the stretch hasn't felt even on both sides of my body. That in itself I don't think is particularly bad for me. The point when I went to the doctor was when I was obsessively stretching my neck from side to side, because I thought at some point this is probably going to do some damage somewhere along the line, and I knew that this was not a sensible thing to do. I knew that I should stop this, and that was what made me go see him. And it was all about trying to make it feel the same, trying to be balanced, trying to be even. A lot of the questions that come up with talking about OCD is, what's going to happen if you don't do it? Are you doing this to stop something bad happening? Are you locking and unlocking your door 3 times at night because you think if you don't, then someone will get in? For Mikey in the story, what will happen if he does it wrong is some vague feeling of bad things will happen. It won't be something in the world will go wrong. He's not clear about it, but he is clear that there is a something that will happen. For me, the bad thing is that it's like, for me it's more like when you have an itch and you have to scratch it, like you can feel that there is a tickle there that you want to touch and get rid of, and until you do scratch the itch or like rub at whatever is tickling you, you're going to be aware of it. It's going to be there in the back of your mind. That feeling is there. That's what it's like. I can't not do it. The feeling, the tickle under my skin to do something is going to be there until I do it. It's not like the world's going to end. It's not like someone's going to hurt my family or break into my house or anything like that. It's just that until I act on it, the feeling is going to be there. I don't really have some big meaningful conclusion to come to here. I just wanted to talk about this with you guys. A lot of the time in the YA chat on Twitter last night, people were saying we need more exposure about this, we need to talk about it more. So that's what I was trying to do. I've talked about me with you guys, and I hope that is interesting for some people, or makes other people think that maybe they do this too, or maybe can reassure me that they do this too. So if you would like to leave comments, I would really, really love to hear your thoughts on this. If you feel like you have OCD or you know someone, or if in general you want to talk about mental health, I would really like to carry on conversations in the comments here and get more awareness for this. Just talking about it. Talking about these things is good. So I hope you will leave comments, and thank you for watching.